minerals is how our gut is initially built. Many of us, as you all very well know, were not breastfed or not long enough to actually build the 30 or more feet worth of square footage worth of GI tract that we all have. We have about 23 square feet. That's a tennis court surface, if that gives you some idea, in our small intestines alone. So from the throat to the anus, there is an enormous amount of tissue that needs to be built up. That, again, starts with mama's milk for mammals. Because many of us have not gotten enough mama's milk, there are particular nutrients like butyric acid found in butter. One of the reasons I personally, as a vegan, was craving it so frequently. But also, I saw you had your electrolytes to put into your water. You can find many of those minerals in things like cucumbers, but difficult to digest when you've already got leaky gut issues like me. You can find those in many whole foods, but one of the things that more readily repairs, because it's already sort of pre-digested, is bone broth and supplements like the gentleman was taking, Jerry, is taking in electrolyte supplements that will help you sort of retain some of the water so you're not constantly and frequently urinating, and then also helping with the neurology in general. So I see you, Jerry. I see your hand up. I just want to finish that one point. Butyric acid is found in copious amounts in butter, and also something called glutamine protein is in copious amounts in animal products. So I, as a vegan, was not getting many of the nutrients that I needed to repair my ADD and my allergies. I am now omnivorous. I can eat everything. It's absolutely wonderful. And I also got incredible benefit for my neurology in general. And it made me a better human being to be around in general. So, Jerry, what was your question? Go ahead.
My question is, I went to Bastyr and got an allergy test. And he came back saying that I'm 100% allergic to dairy. So is butter an exception to that? I mean, you said butter helps?
Ghee might help. What you're having a reaction to, typically, this is not, diagnostic in any way, but typically what most people are having a reaction to is the protein, right? They're unable to break down a particular type of protein. And so when you use something like ghee, where all of the milk proteins are taken out and you're just exclusively getting the fat, you can still derive benefit from that. But don't take my word for it. Go back to Bastyr and have them test you for ghee rather than dairy in general. And another thing is that you may be talking about all proteins from dairy, or you may specifically be talking about cow dairy, something that we overeat in the United States. We don't eat a lot of sheep's milk or goat milk. So you may want to go back and see if it's the same for sheep and goat products.
Yeah.
There are also non-dairy probiotic substitutes that you can use, like coconut yogurt. I don't know if you have allergies to coconut, but there's also almond yogurt and hemp yogurt these days that will assist eventually digesting dairy proteins. Lactobacillus is found in those non-dairy versions of yogurt. That helps out. And I put some information in the chat. There's loads of videos of this kind of stuff. This dietary stuff is really interesting for you. There's a great trail to follow with Dr. Natasha. She's a brilliant neurologist and neurosurgeon, and now a functional medicine practitioner, meaning that she's combined her knowledge as a nutritionist with her MDs. So I hope you enjoy that. What's that, Jerry?
This is a protein drink called Orgain. You can get it at Costco in powder form, or this is in a liquid form. It's all plant protein. So that's what I get protein from
Does it also have probiotics in it to help you absorb?
Yes, it does. It's got probiotics.
That's wonderful.
So that probiotics and gut health, that's a good topic because it seems like I was having problems with loose stools or diarrhea, like a surprise, and not getting to the bathroom in time. And so, so some people say take probiotics and Metamucil for bulk. So, do you have an opinion on probiotics and Metamucil for bulk?
Yes, Metamucil, in my understanding, was typically for constipation, so I might avoid that. But yes, probiotics will help with loose stool. The main concern is rebuilding the entirety rather than spot checking. You want to rebuild the gut tissue, the gut lining more with everyday foods. One of them that you can get that's already sort of pre-digested, an amino acid that will help to build the gut, is L-glutamine. And I'll put that in the chat for you too. There are several glutamine products on the line or online that you can find. But butyric acid and glutamine are both found in copious amounts in human GI tissue. Let's see, L. But that's also a supplement that you can take to help repair the GI tissue. And what Dr. Natasha calls, she says there's a protocol to heal, seal, and refill the gut. I see another hand. Ursula, go ahead.
Make glutamine powder.
Yes, I often recommend that to folks in my practice, yeah.
And I buy it at Vitacost. It comes in a black container, and I put it in the morning drink. And afternoon, the evening, I mean. But I don't know.
Yes, and it's pretty flavorless.
Yes, totally flavorless.
Yeah, so it's easy to put into your morning tea or yogurts, any liquid if you do bone broth, or even in Jerry, if you're using that electrolyte supplement daily, you could add a teaspoon or tablespoon of glutamine powder to that as well.
So, Melanie, I have a question.
Yes,
go ahead. I'm hearing all this stuff about artificial meat, especially at the fast food places. So, what is your take on the Impossible Burger? I think it's called. So,
I mean, it sure is tasty. I've tried it.
Okay.
My main concern is all of the other ingredients.
Exactly.
Right? You have all this other stuff your body has to get through to get any protein out of it. And it's like any processed food, right? Your body is doing all kinds of gymnastics in order to make some food out of processed food. And normally it's having to do those mental gymnastics by taking stuff from your organ tissue in order to make something out of that food. So they're incomplete foods, processed foods. We call them Frankenfoods in the nutrition world, as in Frankenstein. But then your body has to sort of cannibalize itself in order to complete those incomplete nutrients. So it's best to eat a whole food diet, and by that, a cow is a cow, and if you're getting a steak, it's just steak, and there's just beef in there. And the same thing with your fruit and vegetable family, to eat it in its whole food form. Even if you cook it down, your body has a better chance of actually understanding what to do with that product. In my understanding, yeah. I am getting a product for you. Let me see if I can copy the image. Perfect.
Okay.
And I will put it in a little Canva file. I get it on iHerb, and it's called Nature's Plus Total Digestive Wellness, GI Natural. It has several of the ingredients I was just speaking about. And again, it's a sort of pre-digested, it's broken down to the amino acid level. So anyone with digestive function disruption can actually take this in, and it starts healing the gut. Or I shouldn't say healing, but repairing that tissue to the degree that foods are really what rebuild and build our body, right?
Well, thank you. And thanks again for coming. I mean, again, it's kind of,
My pleasure.
yeah, it's about time.
My pleasure.
Can you put that in the chat also, that last one? Yeah.
I sure will.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Melany, I'm very in awe of all your knowledge and how easy you pass it on. And I really have a practice where we could meet you or so.
I do. I am on the GAPS practitioner website. I'll put my information in there as soon as I get a little image document in there for you all to get this supplement. But yes, I do practice as a functional nutritional therapist and gut and psychology syndrome practitioner. I also have a certification in applied kinesiology, which gives me a sort of functional evaluation tool for the body to understand its particular needs by the reactions that it has to having pressures in particular points. So I'll put my information in the chat for you.
Cool.
Thanks for asking.
Very exciting.
So do you take insurance? Would I need to get a referral from like my neurologist to come see you?
I do not take insurance.
No?
I'm
Okay.
very affordable. But I do not take insurance.
No? Okay.
Currently. It takes an entire staff to be able to take insurance. When I was doing my 2-year internship at a nutritionist clinic, we took insurance and I was a part of that staffing.
Okay.
And it's an enormous load of paperwork that you have to go through on a daily basis to keep up with that and to keep it current. And then there's a big lag before you get paid.
Okay.
So both of those make it a little problematic. I'll put this in the chat too, but Dr. Fred Yulin here more locally in the Seattle or Washington State area takes insurance. There are loads of functional medicine practitioners now in the Washington State area that will take insurance and give you that, sort of Bastier experience where you're getting both ends of the spectrum. You're getting that emergency medicine, that, scientifically proven medicine that the Western model is going to help you with any emergency situation. They're amazing for. And then that slower growth, that knowledge, that rebuild, just like when you take PT, physical therapy for the body, that's more what nutrition can do, is help you rebuild after a trauma. So I'll put that. Fred Yulin is one of my favorites. And then the GI Natural and my information, I'll put all in the chat for you.
Well, thank you.
Functional medicine is a very fascinating field. And last time we talked a bit about Dr. Walls and her MS summit, and Dr. Walls is also functional. What was important for her eating was finding functional medicine. She had a lot of functional medicine practitioners in her house.
The Dr. Walls about feeding your mitochondria?
Yes.
Okay. So again, I want to thank Melany for coming at this last moment. And we'll probably have to set up another time for her to give a presentation with slides and everything like that. Is that cool with you, Melany? She's kind of busy right now, so. And she's muted again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Dr. Wall use a lot of electric treatment on her muscles?
A little bit.
He did have yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard it was a lot. I heard it was daily, and she got tons of it.
Yeah, it might have been kind of 5 days a week or so. But she also used diet, so special